Pero pag uwi ko po ba, may trabaho ako at ano-ano ang mga gagawin niyong tulong sa aming mga OFW?
Wala po akong katabi dito ngayon. Pero
na may problema doon. Makikipag-usap kami, bilateral talk sa ibang bansa para maprotektahan kayo. Kasama ng Saudi Arabia na ayaw natin ang kafala system nila na hindi nakakatulong sa inyo.
Importante po yon para may mauuwian kayo rito. Nais namin na makauwi kayo rito para kasama ninyo ang inyong pamilya, hindi kayo mawalay sa kanila at hindi magiging mahirap ang inyong pamumuhay.
The OFWs, it should be necessary that they should have a hotline to the government for the OWA so that they can ask for help. And our consuls general should have special training in helping these people when they are in trouble, which is their duty in the first place.
I will create a bank para ang remittances nila, hindi na sila magpunta doon sa mga dicer. They can go to the bank and we will have a bank in every place where they are.
Aalisin po natin yung pag-membership fee sa OWA. Gobyerno na ho ang sasagot sa lahat at lahat ng pamamaraang tinutulong ng OWA.
Hello classmates and mom bench. My name is Leah Nemis and I am here to present to you the highlights of my research proposal. The title is Exploring the Potential Influence of PiliPinas Presidential Debates on OFW's Decision to Exercise Their Right of Suffrage.
Rationale of the study. According to the Department of Labor and Employment, 6,092 Filipinos leave the country every day to find better opportunities overseas. The growing number of overseas Filipino workers means growing amount of remittances, which have been stabilizing the Philippine economy for decades. The government and the Philippine society have hailed these modern heroes as the economic saviors. These modern heroes, while away from the Philippines, can be vulnerable of being underpaid. They work in the most adverse conditions with none or limited labor protections and social services. They may experience racism, discrimination, and even xenophobia. They can be deprived of food and humane lodging. And worst, they can be harassed, beaten, raped, or killed. The overseas Filipino workers have shown their economic contributions over the years. The government and the Philippine society feel their economic presence. Still, OFWs and their families are left unprotected. The 2016 election will be the fifth time for the overseas Filipino workers to have the chance to exercise their right to suffrage since 2004. The Overseas Absentee Voting Act, or OAV, and also known as the Republic Act 9189, was passed on Feb 13, 2003. This law mandated the right of every Filipino citizen residing or working outside the country to exercise their right of suffrage. But majority of OFWs do not vote. In Dubai, United Arab Emirates, there are only 120,000 registered voters from the estimated close to 1 million Filipinos. The registration turnout is less than 20% of the population, and there is no guarantee that they will all vote. According to surveys, there are many reasons why OFWs do not vote. The declining absentee voting turnouts over the years was due to the following: hassle of voting logistics, no enough information about the registration mechanics, no hope that their vote will make any change, no trust for a clean election, no interest, apathy, no care at all, and no enough information about the candidates. PiliPinas Debates is the title of the debate series administered by the Commission on Elections in preparation for the May 9, 2016 general elections. COMELEC's aim is to assist voters in making an informed choice and encourage candidates to focus on substantive issues and public policy pronouncements. It has been 24 years since the Commission on Election organized a public debate. The COMELEC debates also served as venues for voters to scrutinize the candidates so they can form enlightened choices on the national election day. The research problems. Number 1. How the PiliPinas presidential debates influence the OFW's decision to exercise their right of suffrage in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Number 2. What are the issues addressed by the PiliPinas presidential debates that affected the OFW's perception of absentee voting? What are the information needs of the OFWs in order to persuade them to participate in elections? Number 3. How to improve the COMELEC's existing communication campaign in encouraging OFWs to register and vote. Theoretical framework. The agenda setting theory will be adopted to support this study and to help explain the potential influence of the PiliPinas presidential debates on the OFWs to exercise their right of suffrage in future elections. Agenda setting theory states that news media is able to affect the importance of topics on the public agenda. The more significant a news issue is in terms of its frequency and prominence of coverage, the more they become important to the audience. It assumes that the public tends to focus their attention and concern on the issues set by the media. In this research, social media as a medium will be studied. Conceptual framework. COMELEC, Philippine media, and social media have used the PiliPinas presidential debates as an agenda-setting tool to influence the agenda of OFWs. The OFWs, who are said to be apathetic of the Philippine elections and the government, are subjected to agenda setting on different social media websites. Their exposure to social media causes them to be susceptible to agenda setting. The researcher assumes that the presidential debates have been a practical communication tool that shapes the view of OFWs about the Philippine elections. The Philippine debates channeled by mass media and social media have the capability to alter the election and voting constructs of OFWs. Social media, which is the frequently accessed communication medium of OFWs, can address the major concerns of our modern heroes. Conceptual framework. COMELEC, the Philippine media, and social media have used the PiliPinas presidential debates as an agenda-setting tool to influence the agenda of overseas Filipino workers. The OFWs, who are said to be apathetic of the Philippine elections and the government, are subjected to agenda setting on different social media websites. Their exposure to social media causes them to be susceptible to agenda setting. The researcher assumes that presidential debates have been a practical communication tool that shapes the view of OFWs about the Philippine elections. The Philippine debates channeled by mass media and social media have the capability to alter the election and voting constructs of OFWs. Social media, which is the frequently accessed communication medium of OFWs, can address the major concerns of OFWs for not voting and influence a reality that social change, clean election, and a better Philippines are possible. This reality becoming the public agenda can influence OFWs to exercise their right of suffrage in future elections. Methodology. This study will utilize cross-sectional survey research design to determine the potential influence of the Philippine presidential debates on OFW's decision to vote in future elections, and to understand their information needs regarding absentee voting. The researcher will first collect the data through survey questionnaire. A content analysis of the debates will be conducted in order to explain how they influence OFWs to exercise their right of suffrage. This method will allow the researcher to find out if there are issues addressed by this new communication strategy that led to encourage the OFWs to participate in future elections. To learn the existing communication campaign of COMELEC in Dubai, UAE, the researcher will set an interview in the Philippine Consul General in Dubai, and from this, the researcher will be able to learn the message gaps resulting to low absentee voting turnout. Population and locale of the study. Emirates Global Aluminum Filipino employees from grades 9 to 15, working in the company from 5 years and above, and the total population will be utilized in the conduct of the study. Emirates Global Aluminum, formerly known as Dubai Aluminum, is a 37-year-old aluminum manufacturing company in Dubai, UAE. The company has about 7,000 employees from different countries. The respondents of this research will be Filipinos from grade 9 to 15. The researcher will sample those who are working in the company from 5 years and above. The total population will be utilized in the conduct of this study. Data gathering and analysis. SurveyMonkey online questionnaire will be sent to the participants to determine the potential influence of the Philippine debates on the decision of the OFWs to participate in future elections. The findings of the content analysis will determine the issues addressed by the PiliPinas debates, and the feedback from the Philippine Consul General's interview will be summarized and analyzed thoroughly. The researcher will then come up with recommendations in improving the current communication strategy of COMELEC in empowering the OFWs through absentee voting based on the findings of this study.
Thank you for watching the highlights of my research proposal. If you have questions, please feel free to comment below. That's it, and enjoy your sem break.